The Albertans Against the NDP were here in my hometown for their latest rally, Calgary. There were the usual faces, plus some new ones, and also some unexpected guests, like this guy.
I'm here today because Stephen Harper's policies are too dangerous for our country to continue going on. His economic policies have fallen down. His concept of how to run a country is not very good. Basically, he's run us into a deficit. We have a structural deficit budget, and we're in a recession.
I guess this guy didn't get the memo about the surplus. But facts don't matter to these lefties. As long as they're sticking to the narrative, anything goes. Other than these few trolls showing up at the event, everything went off without a hitch. Tim Moen, leader of the Libertarian Party of Canada, was in attendance, and he had some excellent points to make about our oil and gas industry. Watch.
If the climate is changing and if it's going to be a catastrophe, I say we need 1,000 more Fort McMurrays, because that's the only way we're going to protect people from catastrophe. Since fossil fuels in the last 80 years, climate-related deaths are down 98%. Think about that for a second. Life expectancy is up 67% because we have medicine, clean water, fresh, bountiful, cheap food, nutritious food. That's all because of fossil fuels.
I also ran into Chris. She made these amazing signs with Ralph Klein's picture. You know the one. And here's what she had to say to Rachel Notley.
You should be hiring Albertans, is what I really want to say too, because every person in here that you've hired to be a spokesperson for you, and MPs are from all over Canada, and we all know, they're all anti-pipeline, anti-oil. We know this. And by the way, thank you for your fake survey. It was a double-edged sword. There was no way to answer that survey correctly, and I had friends all over the world taking that survey.
The concerns for the oil and gas industry are growing here, and Chris's comments make that point. I also love that she brought up the fake survey. It's a slap in the face for us Albertans to know that anyone in the world can have an opinion on what goes on in our province. I also ran into Paul, and here's what he had to say about Rachel Notley.
7% of Albertans liked Rachel Notley. They did it as a protest. I think it was an overreaction out of anger. She's making the wrong choices. She's leading this province, strangling our main industry. She needs to be stopped. She needs to be out of power. She's a danger to the economy of Alberta and a danger to the economy of this country.
Now, I have to agree with Paul's sentiment, especially considering the results from the federal election. Alberta went blue and the NDP vote totally collapsed. This suggests to me that Albertans are already feeling remorseful just 6 months after electing this government in. My friend Sheila was also at the rally in Lloydminster on the same day that the Calgary rally occurred. She ran into the organizer and took a time out with him, and here's what he had to say about the event.
Around here in Lloydminster, we work in an industry that's heavily reliant on oil and gas. We've already been having very difficult times since late last year when the oil prices took a turn for the worse. Then with the May 5th election, the NDP party becoming our majority government in Alberta, that has just created another terrible black eye to our industry and the small businesses and the spin-off economies related to it.
She also ran into Shannon Stubbs, Conservative Party of Canada candidate for Lakeland. And here's what she had to say.
Well, there have been job losses in the energy sector in particular, and so around Elk Point, Bonnyville, this area, Lloyd. And we know that is because of declining oil prices and international market crisis. But it's also, and this is important, because of uncertainty around potential government changes in the royalty, taxation, regulatory, fiscal framework provincially, and also the risks of changes on that front that would negatively impact the energy industry federally.
Now, these events are always a peaceful place for people to gather and voice their concerns about what's happening in our province. The Albertans Against the NDP tell me that their next event will be held in Red Deer. Stay tuned for details. For the Rebel.Media, I'm Holly Nicholas.